name of God, and I'll greet everyone with peace. Assalamu alaikum. So, first off, allow me to thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak. We truly appreciate the support, the compassion, and the solidarity that so many have shown with the Muslim community. So I'd be remiss not to express our gratitude on behalf of our community. So, we're witnessing hate crime after hate crime, attacks on the houses of God after attacks on the houses of God. And this calls for a teaching moment for Muslims as well as those of other faiths. And that is to respond to these hostilities with kindness. There was a woman who used to throw trash at the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, every single day. But one day, there was no trash in his way. So he inquired about the well-being of that woman, and he visited her while she was sick. That is Islam. Mm-hmm. Even in times of war, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, said, "Be careful against any wrong act. Don't kill any child, woman, or old person. Don't destroy any plant or tree that provides food to human beings or animals. Do not kill animals unless they are needed for food and sustenance. Don't persecute the peace-loving Christian monks and priests. March forward in the name of Allah, and may He protect you." So that would be my message to everyone. Let us all march forward in the name of God with kindness, and may He protect us.
Wonderful. And as we were talking before we came on the air, and just so you know, if you hear some rustling in the background, we've been joined by Imam Abdulhamid Al-Jazawi. Welcome, sir. And I think as you and I were, and all three of us were talking before we came on the air, that is one of probably the most important messages we can take from all of these events. I mean, look, you cannot heal what's in the evils in the heart of another man. You cannot take that away from him, but you can work to educate them. You can work to enlighten them and to open up their eyes to things that maybe they're afraid of, things that maybe they misunderstand, they're not knowledgeable about. And that, and I talk about this quite a bit, goes a long way towards addressing just exactly what you're talking about and this kind of hate crime. And it really is. I mean, it's a crime of hatred, mm-hmm. and no matter where it's happening. And I think it's just a horrible time, I think, right now in our world, where all of this is going on in all of these different places. So I think that message needs to be heard far and wide. So I appreciate you doing that. Absolutely. Thank you. Imam, welcome.
Welcome.
And I appreciate you joining me here today for this. And this should be very enlightening, as we were just talking about. Let's start out. We are in the middle of Ramadan. You are observing Ramadan. And you kind of reached out to us to kind of request this time, and I'm more than happy to give you this time here as well to talk about this. But what was your purpose behind doing this? Why are you? Maybe does it go toward what Ms. Omar was talking about?
Peace be upon you all. Actually, we made an event sharing Ramadan for many reasons. Mm-hmm. To be in brief, number one, because we love people, and this love must be matched by love from people. The second is we eat every day, but not together. So we made this sharing Ramadan to eat together. If we are not, we wanted to send a message. If we are not brothers in faith, we are brothers in humanity. And we have to promote that. We share the air, we share the land, we share the sky. And we have to share the moment. We have to share the food. Mm-hmm. We have to come together. We made sharing Ramadan event to bring people together. We are seeking out peace and unity. We have to come together. We have to stand together. It's very shameful and hurts everyone to live in the United States of America, and instead of getting united, with other peoples. We see some members of the government in the head of the authority support some little group, support those who are calling for white supremacy. They use their power to create hatred atmosphere, and this by their hatred speech. And this support, they are supporting the machine that work against humanity. We made sharing Ramadan to make a balance. To make a balance in the society that we are living, to live in harmony. Together we can make it. Together we can do it. Again, we are looking for unity between all people. And we believe without unity there is no community. We love peace, we love unity, we will live for peace and unity, and we will die to protect peace and unity. That's why we made sharing Ramadan.
And what is going to happen at this event?
We invite different people from different societies. The police chief will share with us. He will be with us in this day. And also we have other people will come to join us. In this day we're going to start with the recitation of the Quran, and the Sheikh Saad Yusuf, the visitor who came from Egypt to share the moment with us in Ramadan, will be the first one to recite Quran. Then we have another Imam in the city, Imam Ashraf Ibrahim. He will speak like 10 minutes. He will try to bring the ayats of the Quran, the verses of the Quran that talk about unity and peace and why we have to be together. Then we have brother Tariq Audi. He is the care director. He will have 5 minutes to talk about. Then Waterbury police chief Fred Spagno, he will talk like 5 minutes to tell us that they support the unity, they support peace, they like what we are doing. We have also Bishop John Sidler. He gonna talk about the importance of unity and struggle, and our struggle to be one people and one nation. We have also Imam Saifuddin. Saifuddin comes from New Haven to share the moment with us. We have Brother Fahd Saeed, he's gonna talk 2 minutes, and also we have recognized for all the political figures and those who would like to come to speak. By the way, we send an invitation to the governor, and he expressed about his willingness to join us. Right. They are working on his agenda. Yeah. They try to get him in, but we believe he like it. He said he would like to come as a kind of gratitude for the Muslim community that support him to be there in the office. Again, we are looking for peace and unity. We are working together for better humanity, and when we come together, we will do it. For sure, we will do it.
Well, I wish you all the success in the world, because certainly it benefits everyone if you actually were to accomplish your goal here. Let's talk a little bit about Ramadan. Perhaps you could describe what it is, and perhaps, obviously you're fasting during the day here, to explain that aspect of it.
Yeah, why the Muslim observe fast in Ramadan? By the way, Ramadan is the 9th month of the lunar calendar, and people observe fast in this month for many reasons. Number one, we have to understand that fasting is an obligatory upon every adult Muslim who is sane, who is able to perform it. The one who is not traveling, the one who cannot meet any other of these conditions. And also, those who are converted to Islam, they are not required to make up the fast that they miss. We don't ask them to do that. Children, those who are under 14, they are not obliged to observe fast, but they can try until we observe fast from dawn until sunset. Mm-hmm. They can try until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock, according to their ability. Those who are insane, or those who are impaired, or those who are sick, they don't have to. They don't have to. Also, the woman, if the woman pregnant or she's nursing mother or breastfeeding, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. If the woman, she has menstruation or period, she doesn't have to observe fast. And People, those who are traveling, they can start their fast, but if they cannot make it, they can break it. Islam is a mercy, a religion of mercy. And we observe fast to have oversight. God is watching us. We have to perfect our acts. We observe fast to share the moment with the society, because when you see 1.7 million people, Muslim all over the world, and all these people, they observe fast from dawn until sunset. They start at the same time and they broke at the same time. They show unity and they show these people together. We have, as I believe, I heard from some members in my community, we have 15,000 Muslims here in Greater Waterbury area.
Wow.
15,000 Muslims here. All of them share the moment. All of them observe fast at the same time. All of them come together. Islam came to teach us to have harmony in the society, to eat together, to observe fast together, to share the moment together. Again, we share the land, we share the air, we share the sky. We have to share the moment. It's a very, 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 very important for us.
And Jeffrey, perhaps you could talk a little bit about the when sunset occurs, you're able to break the fast. And as Sohair was telling us before, there's kind of a nightly celebration then, correct? Explain some of that, what that would be like.
First, I would like to say God's peace be upon all of the listeners and everyone here. That's the universal greeting for Muslims is Assalamu alaikum. And in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, yes, iftar. Iftar is the time that it means to break the fast.
Okay.
And we come together to eat food after sacrificing, no eating, no drinking from dawn to dusk, sunset, and to pray, and to listen to the recitation of the Holy Book, the Holy Quran. The month of Ramadan is not only about fasting. One of the greater parts and important parts of the month of Ramadan is the month when the Holy Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. Okay. Peace and blessings be upon him. So this is very important. And God has prescribed fasting for us so that we may learn self-restraint and self-control. Mm-hmm. We were talking earlier before the show started about, the hostile people and the attitudes and the emotions that are driven by the media, mm-hmm. and, and all of this, craziness going on in the world. Ramadan is a very refreshing and renewing time where you not only fast from food, but you must abstain from using bad language, from listening to negative, to gossiping, to yelling, screaming, negative behavior, looking at negative things, images, and things like this, to really practice subduing your lower basis, mm-hmm. your base self, your primal self, and to think with a higher consciousness of God. And so this is a very beautiful time. I am a convert to Islam. Mm-hmm. I became a Muslim about 30 years ago when I was in my late teens, and Islam has changed my life.
What attracted you to it?
What attracted me to Islam was the Imam had mentioned the word unity. He kept saying unity, unity, and peace. Mm-hmm. What attracted me to Islam was how Islam is the Holy Quran, the message of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. We say Islam is a religion, but Islam is not a religion. It's a way of life, and it's an action. Mm-hmm. Islam has come to reconcile and to confirm the three the two religions of Abraham. If we well, you know, what a lot of people don't know.
Go ahead.
Yes, what a lot of people don't may not know is that we believe as Muslims in all of the same prophets that are in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and we also believe in Jesus Christ, from Adam to Noah to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ishmael, and Moses, David, Solomon, and Christ Jesus. Peace and blessings be upon all of them, including Muhammad. Muhammad is the seal of the prophets. Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, comes from the Ishmaelite line.
Okay.
So we know that the covenant was given to the Jews, the book of Moses, and all of the prophets in that book. And then we know that the gospel was given to Jesus Christ, right? So this is Isaac's line. And his brother Ishmael, the prophet Muhammad, is the, you know, of the line of Ishmael. So what Muhammad came to do was, he didn't come to negate the previous religions. He came to reconcile them.
Okay.
Okay, so I want people to understand this, because a lot of the hate that is going on is due to lack of understanding, right? In the Holy Quran, Allah says that, he says, "O mankind, I created you of different tribes and different nations and nationalities and races, not that you despise one another, but that you learn from one another." And it says that the best of you in the sight of God, the best of you are those who are most God-fearing, who have best character, who are most respectful. And this is the attitude of the Muslim. When I saw the church bombing, or the bombing, or the fire of the masjid in New Haven, it really disturbed me. Because, you know, like I said, I'm a convert. I came up as a Christian, and it made me think of the civil rights movement, where all of the churches were being bombed and set to fire, and in the 50s and the 60s, you know, and the racism and stuff. And it's you know, the two worst things are ignorance, which creates fear.
Right.
I don't want people to be ignorant. So we're inviting the people, the churches, the synagogue, the regular person walking the street, to come in and experience Ramadan with us on Saturday the 25th.
I was just going to, before we got to take a break here, but I wanted to ask you when the date was for the sharing Ramadan.
Yes, May 25th on Saturday at 7 o'clock.
At
May 25th at the United Muslim Masjid on Prospect Street, the corner of Prospect and Grove, 132 Prospect Street.
All right.
Okay.
We'll give that out again in just a little bit, but I do want to take a break so we don't fall behind. And when I get back, Imam, I'd like to talk to you about the event. We had you in here about a month or so ago.
Yes.
And you can tell, and there was a coming together event, like you were talking about, kind of creating greater understanding. I'd like to know about how that event went, and get your thoughts on that as well, and we'll continue the conversation. But we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more Talk of the Town right after these words. And welcome back to Talk of the Town. I am your host, Steve Noxon, and I'm joined in studio by Mr. Jeffrey Sharif and also Imam Abdulhamid Al-Jazawi from the Waterbury's United Muslim Masjid. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
All right. And we are in the midst of Ramadan right now, and they're observing Ramadan even as we speak. And we are learning about Ramadan, learning about this sharing Ramadan event that's coming up at the end of the month. Before we get back to that, Imam, though, I'd like to ask you, we were in the studio about, I think it was like a month ago, and there was an event in light of, again, another one of these attacks on a house of worship. And you and a couple of other people had put together an event to sort of, again, try to educate people and bring the community together. Tell us about the event. How did it go?
It was very, very successful. It was very, very, very successful. We came together and we stand together against hate and Islamophobia, and we delivered many messages. The first is our kids, they must know that there is true leader, those who are stand up for them. The second message we delivered through this event is we can be brother and sister of humanity. You don't have to be a Muslim. You can be whatever you want. But we still, if we are not in the brothers and sisters in faith, we are brother and sister in humanity. The third thing that we delivered is we deliver a message to the community to tell them you need to make sure that we are supporting all communities and their ability to practice their religion without fear of gun violence, without arson, without fear of anything, without mass shooting, without anything. You have to practice your religion, whatever it is. And we here for you, to support you. We will not allow it to happen anymore. We're going to be for you. We hoped that the event inspire others to share the Muslim narrative. We wanted people to come with us. We are looking for harmony of the society. We cannot be alone. We cannot be alone. All of the people, they have to react and come to the fabric of this society to make a balance. We called on those who are in authority and those who are working on the United States of America to make people united. We cried out loud with the highest voice for unity. We are looking for peaceful coexistence. Again and again, we send a message. It's shameful on us, all of us, to see the leaders who run the country support division. We are living in the United States of America. And unfortunately, those who run the country work on making people disunited. We are United States, and they are working on this United States by their hate speech and supporting the machine that work for division and against humanity. I call again on people of understanding to stand together against hate and Islamophobia. Let us work on unity and peaceful coexistence. We can live together in harmony and we can share the moment together. What we are seeing here is against all moral system and all religions. It's against our American values. It's against our Islamic values. It's against all human values. That's why the messages came during this event.
Are you planning any more?
Yeah, we have today an event. We have a vigil for Ldeina Mosque in New Haven. It's gonna be from 6:30 to 8. The location is 531 Middletown Avenue, New Haven, Connecticut 06513. We will come together today to support the member of Ldeina Mosque and the wider Muslim community after the devastating fire that severely damaged the building on Sunday morning. Investigators now believe that the light was an intentional act of arson. This attack comes as a part of wave of Islamophobia across the country. And this is not the first time the Muslim community has come under attack in Connecticut. Again, we will come together today as people of all, no faith or no faith. We did not support any faith at this moment. We just come together as human beings. We will stand, all of us together, against the hate. Also, I would like to share, they launch support the restoration of the Ldeina Mosque. Donation can be made via launchgood.com/New Haven. And I wanted to seize the opportunity to thank a man. He is a Jewish. I don't know his name, but I heard about him yesterday. A friend of mine told me that there is a Jewish man donated $10,000.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Impressive.
A Jewish man donated $10,000 for the Ldeina Mosque to make a restoration. He is not Muslim, he is not Christian, but he is a human being. He has a heart. He is in grief for what happened to the Muslim. And we, all of us, have to come together for this. If there is an assault or attack on the church or synagogue or Muslim, all of us, we have to come to help each other. This is humanity.
Well, and as we were talking even before you got here, we talked, and Jeffrey and I and Sohair talked about the fact that this is not an isolated incident. It's not again even just focused on mosques, or it's happening in synagogues, it's happening in churches, it's happening all around the world. And one of the things that we were discussing was the fear that grows out of ignorance. And there's also seems to be this industry. You talk about some of our politicians, but there's also a lot of people, I think, and as Jeffrey and I were talking about in the media, that are trying to keep everybody at this rolling boil. They're benefiting from this kind of anger, and it's all sensationalism, and it's not a new thing. Certainly, it's something that's going on for a while, but it's frustrating, and it's really frustrating for someone like myself to be in this industry and to see people making these sort of incendiary comments, like Jeff, like you were saying earlier. You don't have to incite this.
Right.
There is no reason to be out there inciting this. And if you think you're going to be benefiting from that, you're not. You're hurting so many other people, and you're hurting so many other efforts when you're just doing this for your own personal benefit. So Jeff, you and I were talking about this before. You had some thoughts on this too. Some of these people that are involved in this sort of ongoing incitement of anger. You find it to be really frustrating, don't you?
Yes, it is. Not only as a practicing Muslim, but also as an African American. We have been dealing with oppressive actions since hundreds of years before the Civil Rights Movement. We came here through the mode of slavery, and fought hard for freedom, for the rights and the equality of for all of the immigrants that have come forth since that time. And still today we see a lot of the same ignorance and fear being perpetuated throughout society. Because it is Ramadan, I want to continue to try and educate and share with people. The word Islam, it literally means peace. Like we were saying earlier about how the media will take a word and try to turn it into something that it's not. Mm-hmm. One of the words that people tend to use about Islam is, Islam means submission. Islam means surrender. And yes, it does, but it means more than that. The word Islam means to willingly submit your will to do God's will. Right? Mm-hmm. So there's no compulsion in religion. It's you must willingly submit your will to do God's will. Mm-hmm. When we look at our will as human beings, a lot of times our intentions and will is kind of thwarted and not that good. Right. But if you ask for God's guidance, right, mm-hmm. you're on a better path. So the result of that is what? You have peace of mind, peace in your heart, peace in your soul. And what does Islam represent? Islam is built on 5 pillars. I want to give you just the basics of Islam so that people will not be afraid. Mm-hmm. And these are things that Muslims must do. Okay? So Islam is first built, the first pillar of Islam is that we believe in the one true and living God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. The second pillar is to establish prayer, to pray to God. The third is very important. This is one of the most important pillars. Is called zakat or sadaqah, which means charity. So we must help the poor and the needy. Mm-hmm. We must help the widow. We must help the orphan. We must help the elderly. Okay, we must feed the sick. Okay, this is the duty of the believer, to be charitable. Okay, and the fourth one is where we are right now, which is fasting during the month of Ramadan. Fasting. Fasting, Allah said He prescribed fasting for you that you may learn self-restraint, that you may practice patience and kindness. Okay? And then the last one is to make Hajj, to make the pilgrimage to the holy house in Mecca. All right? The Kaaba. But symbolically, the Hajj represents our journey through life. Okay, so these are beautiful pillars. And if you are a good person, I think we all, believe in these things. If you're a Christian, Jew, Muslim, or, of a faith, of a particular faith, Catholic, we believe in God, we believe in prayer, we believe in charity, we believe in good morals and, and self-restraint and not getting angry. And we know that we're on this journey through life.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this question. And there is a radical element that yes. Seems to, in many people's minds, is Islam. And the comments that you're making here today certainly don't strike me as all that radical, but it's something that I imagine is a great challenge for you and the people in your religion to have to push back against that aspect. I mean, what do you think when you see and hear some of the actions of some of the people that have radicalized this religion and using it for some of these nefarious purposes?
I'll let the Imam address that.
Yes. I would like to tell people what God said in three ayats. Exactly in 3 ayats. This will summarize our life and will summarize what God needs from us. God said in the Quran, say, come, I will recite what your Lord has prohibited to you. He commands that you not associate anything with him, and to parents good treatment, and don't kill your children out of poverty. We will provide for you and them, and don't approach immoralities, what is apparent of them and what is concealed, and don't kill the soul which God has forbidden to be killed except by legal right. This is what he instructed you, and that you may use reason. And don't approach the orphan's property except in the way that is the best, until he reaches or she reaches maturity. And give full measures and weigh in justice. We don't charge any soul except with that within its capacity. And when you testify, be just, even if it concerns a near relative, and the covenant of Allah fulfill. This has instructed to you that you may remember. And moreover, this is my path, which is straight, so follow it. And don't follow other ways, so you will be separated from his way. This is what he instructed us, and that you may become righteous.
So again, going back to the question about the radicalized element, where are they getting this from? Where is this coming from?
This is for different things. We said before ignorance. This is one of the things. The other thing is Islamophobia, the fear of Islam. The third is the machine that work against humanity, work on division and support hate and hatred speech, and also from the leader, those who have authority. They have authority, they work on it. A few weeks ago, there is someone very high level post in New York City. He made a post against Palestinians, and the people stand over 80 Islamic organizations stand against him. They said this make division in the community. We try to make harmony. We try to bring people together. Believe it or not, Mayor de Blasio of New York City take him down, remove him from the chair, take him down. He left the office for what he said. We have to do that out of fear with everyone. Anyone work against the division, anyone did not support humanity, anyone work against the people, those who doesn't have any power or oppressed or weak or sick, he has to leave his office right away. Again, I think there is a lot of reason for what we have right now. some people they have hatred inside them. I see before a slogan for KKK. They say hate for the sake of God. Hate for the sake. Are you? Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Hate for the sake of God.
You're right. Are you out of your mind? I mean, that's just.
I want to address. I want to address your question.
Okay.
About the radicalism in Islam. Okay, and you know, I've never been overseas. You know, but I've had the extreme pleasure of meeting people. The beauty of Islam is that you have people from every walk of life. I mean, literally. Okay, when you know, I'm gonna get to your question, but I want to say this: when you look at the United States, this is one of the reasons why I was attracted to Islam, is because when we come to worship, no matter if you're from Indonesia, from Arab nations, from Africa, from Albania in the Czech Republic area, we all worship and pray together. But when you go to most Christian churches, it's all black, all white, or all Hispanic, separated. Islam is not like that. There's no room for that in Islam. Allah says in the Holy Quran, He says to stand up for truth even when it is against your own self. This is important. So when you have so these radical ideas, there are you know, we have to be careful, because this is why I want to give you the basic fundamentals of Islam, because there are so many different ideologies and schools of thought that are you know, and not only in Islam.
No, I'm not making that point.
I want to say this because what we have, what you see happening is, what's dangerous is when people mix the culture with the religion. There's always there's national agendas, there's political things going on. We see that right here in the United States, you know, where, you know, you got these extreme right, you know, conservative Christians, you know, that are saying, you know, hey, we only, if you're not this way, then you're not, you know. But so we have to be careful of that, even and we have that issue in our faith, you know. So this can become, that's what you consider radical. Right. When you deviate from the basic fundamentals of the faith, then you start adding on, you know, your cultural
and I guess my question
ideas and stuff. That becomes that's not a good thing.
Well, my question was more about the difficulties that it places in front of you when you're trying to inform people and give people this knowledge. That doesn't help when you have to fight that aspect of it as well.
And it's hard. And you know what? And God said, does the believer think that he will go on saying he believes without being tested? You know? You know, a lot of people, you know, after 9/11 happened, a lot of people crawled into, you know, a lot of American Muslims crawled into their homes and just, you know, changed their name from Majid to Mike, you know, and because they didn't want to be confronted with the prejudices and the anger. But, you know, what you have to understand is this: when you see, I don't care what religion you are, when you see wickedness being done in the world, I don't care if you're a Muslim, I don't care who you're, Christian, Jew, when you are oppressing people, black, white, whatever you are, when you are practicing oppression, the Prophet Muhammad, Allah says in the Quran that oppression is worse than slaughter. It's better to just take the person out and then to keep them oppressed and keep them underfoot and keep your foot on their neck. You know, so
I'm gonna have to ask you to stop, mainly because we're out of time.
Okay,
we've
sorry
only got
about that.
No problem. We've got to make sure we run these spots, and we've got a couple very little time left. So I want to give you the one last opportunity to remind people of the Sharing Ramadan event.
Yes, Sharing Ramadan will be at United Muslim Mosque, downtown Waterbury. The address is 132 Prospect Street, Waterbury, Connecticut 06710. It's gonna be on May 25th from 7 to 9. And it's a free admission. Dinner will be served at 8 o'clock p.m. Dinner will be served at 8 o'clock p.m. And this is for everyone. You don't have to do anything. Just come to eat and share the moment with us and see politician and what they are saying. And I invite the superintendent of the school. She welcomed so much. She is a very amazing superintendent. I couldn't see that before. She tried to help the community and try to come with us and with everyone.
We're up at a hard clock here. Imam, I want to thank you very much for coming in. And Jeffrey, pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much.
I wish you great success with the event. We'll talk again. We'll be back.
Please come to the Share Ramadan on Saturday, May 25th.
Steve Knox and you are invited. Okay?